Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel Electronics Maddie. In this video I am going to demonstrate design and simulation of semi-controlled rectifier in PSIM. In case you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe to it so that you will get the videos that we post regularly. Alright, let's get started. So this is the circuit diagram of a semi-controlled rectifier. So if you carefully observe, we use two diodes instead of two thyristors. So one of the reasons being, if we want a circuit to be operated in only one quadrant, that is with respect to motoring mode, so then we will be going for semi-controlled rectifier, as we don't want to spend additionally for the thyristors because the cost of thyristors is slightly higher with respect to diode, and again having additional two thyristors, the complexity of the circuit will increase as we have to control them properly. So that is why we need semi-controlled rectifier. So this is the design procedure. Every design will start off with certain assumptions. So I'll be assuming a supply of 230 volt and firing angle of 30 degree and a resistor of 10 ohms. So if diodes are connected in the same line with respect to the thyristor, then such type of a configuration is called as symmetrical. And if both the diodes are connected in the same leg and both the thyristors are connected in the same leg, then it is called as asymmetrical. So both are semi-controlled rectifier only, but the type of configuration will differ. So we are doing it for symmetrical configuration. Step one is to determine the average value of output voltage. How do we do that? V out is equal to Vm into 1 plus cos alpha divided by pi. You'll be getting 193.20 volt. Second step is to determine the RMS value of output voltage. Vrms is equal to Vm into root of pi minus alpha plus zero point 0.5 sine to alpha whole divided by root 2 pi. Substituting and solving, you'll be getting 226.62. So how do we justify we will be getting the right output after the simulation? So we have to check the RMS value of output voltage, average value of output voltage, cross verify with our three theoretical results, and also check how the output waveform is. So let's go to PSIM and start our simulation. Here we are in PSIM. So over here we have the components that we usually use. So you can go to elements and add the components that you want in this toolbox as well. That is another feature that you can do. At the first place, we'll be requiring a sinusoidal AC source, and we'll be considering that. We also need a couple of thyristors, so rotate that. Basically we need to drag and drop the components over here. We also need diodes, so a couple of diodes, rotate them and have them in the same like in the grid lines that we have. So once this is done, I'll be placing this in the same line. So once this is done, we will be connecting the bridge and connect it to the supply side in this particular fashion over here to the AC source. So once this is done, we will be connecting a resistor. We can use an inductive load as well or RL load as well depending upon your requirements. So we will be connecting a resistive load in this case, and we need a gating block in order to trigger the thyristor. So we'll be using two gating blocks over here. So first place we will be entering the values of the gating block. So choose the gating block value to be equal to 50 hertz. One of the most commonly made mistakes by students is they enter certain higher range of frequency such as the switching frequency with respect to the switches, but here in PSM we have to choose 50 hertz. The reason is because it should be in synchronism with respect to our supply frequency. I'm going to consider my supply frequency also as 50 hertz. As a result, we have to have that in that particular manner. And once that is done, we'll be doing the same with respect to this. So if you don't do that, what will happen? Uh, it behaves as a diode. If you simulate it and see, there will be no control at all with the circuit. So that is why we do that. So here the second thyristor should be triggered after 210 degree, from 210 degree. So 210 to 360 degree. So we'll be deleting this. So this should be the triggering pattern. Why is it 210? Because one half cycle is 180 degree. As we are doing alpha for 30 degree, 180 plus 30 degree. I'm doing it consistent with both the thyristors. So you can try it for different configurations as well and for different firing angles. So once this is done, our supply voltage, one of the most commonly made mistakes by students is they enter 230 here directly. Although our supply is 230, we have to enter 230 into root 2, that is 325.26. So the reason being, they've asked us the peak amplitude over here if you carefully observe. So that is why we have to do this. And once this is done, we are using a resistive load. Let us say the value of resistive load to be equal to 10 ohms, and we'll be measuring the voltage by connecting voltage probe. In case you want to measure the current, you can connect it in series with the circuit. The ammeter probe is also here. You can use that as well. So I'll be connecting across the points where I have to measure the output voltage, and once that is done, I will be going for an option called simulation control. The reason why this is very important is because it controls the runtime, the total time of the simulation to run. So if you don't have this, then there will be no control. You'll only be getting it for a default time of 0.01 seconds, and that is not sufficient for us to clearly identify the entire waveform. So give it to be equal to zero point 0.1 and close this. Go to simulate, run simulation, because we've already entered all the parameters with respect to our circuit. So click the variables that you want to see the output waveform for and add that, and you have the waveform in this particular fashion, which is exactly what we are supposed to get. Now we can cross verify the RMS and average value that we are supposed to get. Click on RMS value and we're getting 226.66. That is E par 2 is there, so I'm reading it in that particular way, 226.66. Now let us check the average value over here. Click on this, you'll be getting 193.22. So with respect to VP2, which is basically the output voltage in this case, so we are getting the exact waveform that we are supposed to get. So this is how we'll be simulating a semi converter in PSIM. I hope you were able to uh, simulate this. So it is also referred to as a semi converter or a semi control rectifier. So I PSIM, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out by typing in your questions in the comment section below. If you like this video, please do like it, share it, and subscribe to our channel for regular updates. Meet you guys in another video. Thank you.